everyone, and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we'll be learning how to do the arcade stitch. The arcade stitch uses alternating rows of shells and single crochets to create a beautiful pattern that works well for shawls, afghans, or even blankets. I will be having an upcoming pattern using it, so I thought it would be a great idea to have a tutorial first. This pattern will work in clusters of 5, but for your foundation row, you will be working in sets of 5 or multiples of 5 plus 2. So for this video's purpose, I'm going to be making 15 chains plus 2, so 17 total, and I'll end up with 3 sets for the first row. So I'm going to do my chain of 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And once I do my 17, I'm going to skip the first loop from the chain and do a single crochet into the first stitch, just like that. And if you don't know how to do a single crochet, I do have other video tutorials on my channel that'll show you how. So I've done one single crochet, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a second single crochet. Now that we've done these single crochets, I'm going to go ahead and make a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and single crochet into the next one. I'm going to single crochet 2 more times, 1 and 2, for a total of 3 single crochets. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1 and 2, and single crochet in the next 3 stitches. One, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and I should have 2 chains left, and I'm going to go ahead and single crochet in both of those. So 1 and 2. So as you can see, we now have 3 areas where that when we flip over, we'll be able to create our shells into there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. And in the first single crochet, I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet. Then I'm going to, in my chain space right here, put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see how pretty that is and how nicely that's coming along. Then what I'm going to do is I have 3 single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet into just the center one. And what that does is it anchors your shell shape into that area, and it moves us closer to the next chain space, where I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and put 5 half double crochets there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then again, we come to our 3 single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 into the center one of those 3, and then I have my last chain space. I'm going to do 5 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we have 2 stitches left, and in the last one we're going to go ahead and put a single crochet to anchor our shell down, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. The first 2 chains of these will act as a half double crochet, and our last stitch of the row will also be a half double crochet. And then so for the chain 1, that's going to be a chain space. We have this really pretty shell right here, and in the center 3 of those we're going to add a single crochet into each one. So I'm going to skip the first one, and in the center 3 of them, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so I'm going to work in these 3 right here. I'm going to place a single crochet. So now we're doing basically almost what our first row was, 2 and 3. And we're creating a space here, which will be a half shell, and then this is going to be a complete shell, and then this will also be a complete shell. So to get that chain space, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to single crochet into the 3, into the center 3 double crochets from the previous row. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, and 3, and find those center 3 again, and we're going to single crochet into there. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 1 and then do a half double crochet into the last stitch right here. So you can see we have our beginning row, our first set of shells, and then we have the setup so that we'll be able to do 2 full shells and 2 half shells on the next row. So for the next row, we're going to go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Now this chain 3 is going to be acting as our first double crochet for a total of 3 double crochets that's going to go into this space right here. So if this is 1, then we have the second one and the third. And then we have our 3 single crochets from the previous round, and we're going to find that center one, and we're going to go ahead and single crochet into there. We're now at the next shell, and I'm going to go ahead and do 5 double crochets into that shell space. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we've done 5 double crochets into the chain space from the previous row. We need to anchor it, so we're going to go into that middle single crochet out of the 3 from the previous row, and now we're back to the next chain space. So 5, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 4, and 5. So we have our 3 single crochets from the previous row. We're going to find that center one, and we're going to anchor our shell with a single crochet. So now we're at the end here, and this end spot right here has a small little opening, and that opening is going to be for 3 double crochets, and that's going to mirror our half shell on this side. So we'll do our 3 double crochets, so 1, 2, and 3. And now you can see that we have, I don't want to lose that. Now you can see we have 2 sets of shells in this pattern. Now what we're going to do is we're basically going to do what we did in row 1 and create chain spaces for the next set of shells. And this time we're going to be doing 3 whole shells. So to do that, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. And I'm going to do a single crochet into the first single crochet right there. And then we're going to do a second one into the next chain space. And that mirrors what we did down below, where we did 2 single crochets, and we're doing 2 single crochets. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to find, just like we did before, the center 3 double crochets in this shell, and we're going to single crochet into each of them. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, find the center 3 again, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are now at the end. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find our last 2 spaces to do the single crochet. So it's going to be here in this double crochet. I want to make sure I get both loops. 1 single crochet there, and then we have a chain space here, or not a chain space, we have the chain 3 that we did that took the place of one of the double crochets. So you can find the top loop if that's easy, but if not, just go right into there and do a single crochet. It'll be just fine however you decide to do it. So we've now finished with that row, and we're going to turn our work to begin doing the shells for that row. And remember, now we're going to be repeating this row. So now you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to do a single crochet into that top loop right there. And now we've come back to our chain spaces, and we're going to repeat our 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then remember, we need to find the center of the next 3 single crochets and anchor our shell stitch. So there you go. You can see how nicely that's coming along. I love the fact that there are gaps in here, so this makes a nice lightweight project. But if you have a variegated yarn or any type of yarn that changes colors, you're going to get a really pretty display of how this works. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this video, please do subscribe. It helps to grow the channel, and I will be posting videos regularly. Thank you, and happy crocheting!